we have arrived in Norfolk. This is our first stop on our 3 days down here, or up here I should say. Over there is Orford Ness. Now Liam's already been there a few months ago now to actually film what remains on the island, but today we've just come back to get some really nice drone shots. Really nice here today, beautiful light on the river, it's really calm, so we're going to send our eye in the sky up just to get some pretty aerials for our video.
Look what we found already. It is a pillbox, if you haven't guessed. Square sort of design, bit unusual. Got a little sheltered entrance there. It's obviously been buried quite a bit. Defending the River Old. And there you go. So this is the Suffolk to Norfolk BTP road trip. It's the first road trip we've actually properly done together for BTP, apart from going way back to the camping trip we did in 2013, which you may remember if you're an OG fan. But yeah, we're going to be flying the drone out to this island, Orford Ness, or this shingle stretch. It's kind of like a desert out sort of in the middle of nowhere in Suffolk. And some of these buildings that you can see in the background, they were used for testing Britain's first atomic bomb back in the 50s. And yeah, they're all still out there. We had a tour around it, and there's going to be a great documentary that I'm going to do eventually on that. So yeah, please stay tuned for that video. It should be really, really good when it's finally done. We're going to be doing a bit more of an informal vlog of our adventure in this video, and just showing you a variety of the places that we're going to go and see. And then we might also do a video perhaps on the airfields of Norfolk as a particular documentary. It just depends on what we end up looking at. Jo's getting the drone ready, and then
she's got her sunglasses on, nice little ND filter there.
Look at that, rose tinted specs there. Let's go. They've been completed, cheers, by Jo. He was getting pretty brave with that drone, I'm telling you. I was getting a bit terrified. He nearly flew it through one of the buildings.
Got to take some risks now and then.
Indeed. But yeah, we've got the shots, and now we're might have a look around at Orford Castle quickly. Then we're gonna get in the car and we're gonna get exploring some more places.
Got my cup of tea, of course. We're going to head up the castle.
So we're at the next place. We've just pulled up in Rendlesham Forest. You may know this place. It's kind of famous around the world for this UFO occurrence that happened here back, I believe, in the 1980s, where some American Air Force personnel saw a UFO apparently, and it's apparently the most well testified UFO incident that's ever been known, or something like that, because a lot of people witnessed it. But what quite happened is still a mystery. It may have just been a prank by the British messing up with the Americans, who knows. But we're going to see the perimeter of the airbase at Woodbridge, where this incident, or the personnel from this airbase, were stationed. So we're going to have a look at that. It is an active airbase, so obviously, you know, this is more out of interest than sort of exploring per se. But then after that we may head on to RAF Bentwaters, another airfield from the same era, from the Cold War, and probably have a little look at that. Who knows if we'll get to see anything interesting. We're just gonna have to see what we find. We're at the corner of the airbase and there's some huge bomb stores in there, as you can see. Massive mounds with concrete buildings to contain potential, I don't know, possibly nuclear weapons of some sort, but these aren't used anymore. Off with the drone once again, just getting some more action.
Now it's only going to let us go so far because that's still under military airspace.
So if you look here, you can see the bomb stores, and in this bottom left corner you can see the blue bit we're approaching, which is the geofence to keep out imposters.
Or terrorists.
Yeah.
Or both.
The joys of finding parking. Bit of a dip in the ground here. Back with the drone again. This time we're at RAF Bentwaters, another Cold War airbase. This one is disused and it's now a business park. So we're heading back empty-handed, and it's quite a bit darker. We've walked a large part of the perimeter and it's very long, but yeah, we've had no look at getting a closer look at any of the buildings at RAF Bentwaters. There is a museum, perhaps we should have just gone to that. But you know, you don't always win them all.
I think the only thing we've seen is about 2 deers, isn't it?
We have seen a few deers. And we've also seen some trees. But yeah, we're going to head back and we're going to have to now drive up to Norwich, where we're staying, and from there we're going to explore Norfolk next. So this really in some ways was just a sort of stop along the way. I think we might get killed by crows here. Look at them all. Could be the end of BTP. Ripped apart alive.
I know.
So we've made it to the Travelodge.
Putting on the Ritz.
Got tons of bags with us.
Yeah, Joe's got more backpacks than I think I've gone through in the last 10 years. We've got a lovely view of Norwich bus station. They do treat us at the Travelodge.
They certainly do. We are just unpacking the essentials here. So we got a selection of brunch bars, raisin or choc chip, and the most important thing, we got tea bags, more tea bags,
Blimey.
and even more tea bags. Yeah.
Certainly a choice.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I stay in hotels much, but you got it all. You fancy your coffee, your hot chocolate, you've even got a stirrer, you've even got some milk.
Nice.
Spoilt for choice.
Yeah.
Looking really nice. so taste it. I've got the bolognese, Liam's got the pizza.
Yeah, gotta get the food in. This guy, absolute criminal, look at him. Can't take him anywhere. Can't take him anywhere.
Now, because Travelodge is cheap and you don't get biscuits, the thing is, when we come down tomorrow and there's a different person on reception, we say to them, can we have some more tea bags? And by the end of the week, you won't have to open up a tea bag.
To be fair, there's, I think, at least 2 Travelodges in Norwich, so, you know, that's 2 chances to stay here, and then after that, we'll never be able to come back again.
I know. On to the next city. So we're interrupting Liam's Earl Grey.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is how we do the BTP research. Finding the places with the maps, with the custom map, which we'll give you a very quick sneak preview of.
So what we do,
look at that.
When we find all of our sites, we map them out onto our own private Google Maps.
So nearly 1,000 places. That's pretty good going, I reckon.
You see, most of them is around the southeast. Some of them are colour coordinated.
We're just adding a few for Norfolk, getting a few airfield bunkers and bits down. So we're searching them up.
So we have actually seen on Facebook today that someone's been to a couple of airfield decoy bunkers. So we're just trying to find out where exactly they are in Norfolk and whether or not they are going to work out on our route tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we are staying sort of somewhere roughly down here, aren't we?
Yeah, there we go.
That is where we are, Norwich. And the video that we're sort of planning on doing is one about the airfields of Norfolk and how they are still surviving today, only just. And so we're going to be travelling up from Norwich all the way up here. You see the purple markers that are on there mark out some of the airfields that are there.
There we go. This is a sneak peek.
How do you like your eggs in the morning?
I like mine with a kiss.
Boiled or fried?
I'm satisfied as long as I get my
Good job you can't smell it, folks.
How do you like your toast in the morning?
I like mine with a hug.
Dark or light?
The world's alright as long as I get my hug.
So we're going through the woods currently to an abandoned chapel. I've got to thank Em and Stu, Exploring with Em and Stu, for this, because they did help us out a little bit with this. Now, I already came here a couple of months ago to take a couple of pictures. We're going to have another look. We're going to get some film and Joe's going to see it. And this chapel's got a really interesting story. A guy came over to England at some point, I think whether it was during World War II or just after, and he was basically on the run through Europe. He was born in Poland, I believe, or Czechoslovakia maybe, and he basically went all through Europe sort of as a refugee from one country to another, trying to escape the Nazis, and basically settled down in England. He lived somewhere, but he used to like Norfolk because the forest reminded him of the forest in Europe that he used to play in as a child and stuff. So he decided to build a chapel out in the woods in Norfolk after moving here at some point sort of in the late 70s, 80s, and we're going to check this out. So it's got quite an interesting story behind it, but sadly when the man died, there was no one to look after the chapel, and today it stands abandoned, which is a bit of a shame. Got an organ.
Even has that sort of old church smell in here.
It's quite rare that you find an abandoned place with everything sort of in place. So we're at the next place, and this is a World War II era airfield, RAF West Raynham. And Joe is getting some lovely drone shots on there. And then after, we're going to see if we can have an explore of this quite amazing place, really. So we've just been in one of the blocks at RAF West Raynham. Amazing, proper old 1930s architecture in there, some of the old furnishings, and even an air raid shelter down in the basement. Pretty incredible. Joe's getting some more drone shots because it's such a big place. We've just been for a drive around the industrial estate, the business park that occupies it, and it's a bit hard to really explore it because it's all kind of amongst where the businesses are. But there's just so many original World War II era or 1930s buildings. We've taken a little stop to this RAF Sculthorpe base, and these are from the Cold War period. They look pretty trashed, but it does have quite a cool look to just this sort of whole little complex. It's got a bit of a Pripyat feel to it. So yeah, we're just going to get a few quick pics. Look at that. Wow. That is amazing.
Whilst our teas are brewing, one of the things that we have to do every time after an explore is charge up our kit. So got our drone batteries here that are on charge. Got the drone controller, GoPro will be on charge shortly. Got the batteries for our GH5. Liam's phone on charge, mine will be soon. And also a light from today.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it.
Got 5 guys. Let's check it out.
What he hasn't said is that we've had to rob a bank to get it.
Yeah, so far it looks like a fast food, but it costs the same as the restaurant.
That tonight's gonna be a
We've
good
just come across
night.
this, which
That
we might think
tonight's
is a bollard, but actually it's not. So if you look on top, there's a dip inside,
Cigarette holder.
which back in the day is actually known as a cannon. Now, it actually has a bit of writing on it that says Francis Blythe. Yes, this was a cannon. Now, it was fairly common for cannons to be stripped from ships after we had won battles, and then they'd be put in as bollards as basically a way of gloating that we had won a battle. And this is one that is disguised in Norwich, just right by the cathedral. Day 3 out of 3 today, and we have just arrived at what might look like just a normal barn in the Norfolk countryside, but there is a chance that it is not. Now, during World War II, when the RAF were looking for airfield sites, they were considering the land around here, and what they come across was this barn. Now, they looked inside and there was absolutely no trace of farming, no tools, no crops, absolutely nothing. So the Dutch owners, or the Dutch farmers who were here, were brought in under interrogation by the security services and were questioned. And what it is thought is that barns like this were dotted about across Norfolk, so that when any German troops came here, they would be able to hide in the barns like this. Now, whether or not that is true, we don't know. But there are a number of barns like this that are surviving, most iconically with a red roof. Having to reverse down this country track, got a bit too steep and bumpy for us. We're going to try and park near the main road at the end, and then walk down. So Liam is the urban spaceman, baby. He's got a bag full of drugs.
I have indeed. Anything to get you through. Anything you want, Joe, just let me know. I can sort you out. No, basically, you might have seen our recent video, what to take on explores. One of the things we actually left out was first aid kits. And I've decided to make a first aid kit with a bit of a twist. I bought this old Soviet era AI2 med kit. And these were actually originally given to the public in case of like nuclear or chemical warfare, and they'd have all sorts in it, from painkillers to like anti-herbicide poisoning against like any kind of chemical warfare, anti-nuclear stuff. They had all sorts in there, and I decided I can convert it into a first aid kit to go in the camera bag. And this is from the 70s or the 80s, so it's all old school Soviet stuff, and it's got like bits of writing in there, it's got your booklet, and I've filled it with some stuff that's actually useful rather than original Soviet drugs that were probably like pretty lethal in their own right. So I've got some plasters, I've got that just to keep it dry, silica thing, got my little mini multi-tool. It's more of a survival kit than a first aid kit, in fairness. We've got some ibuprofen in these original bottles. Good job I can remember what's in what. And I've even got some caffeine tablets in here in case you're getting a bit sleepy on a long drive. And then in here I've got glucose tablets, which apparently these are quite good for hiking and stuff, or if you're diabetic. So I'm not sure entirely sort of what the effect is, but they're just like sort of energy tablets basically. I guess like sort of Lucozade in tablet form. And apparently they're quite good. So we've found ourselves quite a few times out of food for a long while, and you get low blood sugar and start getting a bit shaky and stuff, which is probably not good. Always take your packed lunch. Em and Stu can tell you all about that. So yeah, I thought we'd just give one of these a try because we're not going to eat for a while. And also I just want to know that if I do get stuck on any islands like me and Joe did a couple of months ago, I want to know sort of how useful and what they're actually going to do. So I thought I'll give one a trial run now.
Spaceman, baby, I've got speed.
Just to be clear, this isn't any sort of drug. It is just essentially energy food in a block.
Now what Liam hasn't told you is that he had a Greggs steak bake about an hour ago, so he can't be that hungry.
Any excuse. Give it a try. I don't even know what you do. Just eat it, swallow it, chew it. No idea. I'm not swallowing that. I don't know. Guess I'll just eat it. Kind of like a really cheap orange energy drink without the liquid.
So we are walking now to Bodney Air Traffic Control Tower. It's quite a ruined place, so we're not expecting loads, but it's another one ticked off the list. You can see I've got 2 cameras around my neck. I've got good old GH5 at the bottom, Panasonic. I got to admit, I don't know what this one is. Nikon F60, which is a film camera. So I've taken my first film shot today. Liam got me the camera for Christmas. So that's my first shot taken. I think I've got another 35 on the film roll left. So hopefully going to take a couple more when we get to the control tower. Liam's got his tripod out, getting some photos.
It's always good getting a tripod out, it's a good sign, but also it's a pain in the bum. You know you've got the chance to get some good shots, but also you know it's going to take a bit for ages. But luckily there's not too many rooms here. I'm going to get the shot going, like so. It's going to take 3 shots. We get all the exposures, then we're going to merge them into an HDR pic later.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Hello there. So I think we've done the road trip. We've seen all that we've really wanted to see. We've got a load of places marked out in Norfolk that probably will eventually get round to seeing them all, but I think we've fitted in most of pretty much what we might see on this trip. We've seen loads of different sites, a lot of airfields, but also some other interesting bits like the abandoned chapel, Norwich at night. Yeah, I think it's mostly been airfield stuff, to be honest. Orford Ness we saw at the start.
We packed quite a lot into the last few days. Normally we like to visit one place and then we end up going home. But on this trip we might have seen 3 or 4 different places in a day, I think. Taken lots of photos, lots of video clips. So the real hard work starts when we get home, I think.
It does indeed. Don't forget to subscribe and like video if you want to see more of this sort of thing. Obviously we don't always do the vlogs, but you might have enjoyed it. You might also like more the documentary style, and of course we're going to have plenty of cinematic videos coming out about the places that we've actually been to on this trip as well.
If you do like them, make sure that you subscribe, because most of our viewers aren't, and if you want us to keep on making them, please subscribe.
We don't do it for the views, but we want to know that people actually like watching them. So yeah, thanks a lot guys. We will see you on the next adventure, wherever that may take us.
See you later.
Now.
I think to myself, what a wonderful